Last game in the South region brings us to the number 2 seed Michigan State Spartans. Lost in their semifinal to Wisconsin in the Big Ten tournament. And number 15 Bryant Bulldogs, who unfortunately, but deservedly so, won the America East over the Maine Black Bears. Maine looking for their first berth in the NCAA tournament. First opportunity to do so since 2004. Maine obviously headed in the right direction, but unfortunate they couldn't get in.
Yeah, that kind of suck. And now it was kind of got away from the get-go, but Bryant obviously deserved to get in. They were the best team in this league the entire season, and that kind of shows in the numbers. They were the best team in the America East, I think, by according to Torvik, they were 100 spots ahead of the next team. Vermont was rated 250th, and Bryant was 153rd in Torvik in the regular season. So definitely the right team got in, and this seemed to be a 15 seed. Just goes to show how good this mid-major crop is, and maybe they're live in this game. They're a super athletic team, so I could expect them to hang around for a little bit.
Yeah. They're super athletic, as if anyone was watching the Maine Bryant game the other day broadcast, they said Bryant is the 5th tallest team in the country in terms of average height. Pretty much across the board, they're 6'6", 6'7", 6'8". They're a big team, very athletic. So they might be able to hang around here. Unfortunately, they don't have the same size as Michigan State. Michigan State's a big team with a lot of depth up front, and I think Cohen Carr might have something to say about athleticism. Dude's a freak, probably maybe the most athletic guy in the country. So I could see Bryant hanging around here. Their athleticism and size might be able to keep them in this game for a bit. I think Michigan State is going to take care of business. But wouldn't be surprised to see this maybe finish around a 10-point game or so.
Yeah, I mean, they should take care of business. It's just for a team in Bryant that kind of lives off of their athleticism and, taking advantage of smaller America East teams and less athletic. Bryant was able to dominate the rim against every team in this league, and against Michigan State, a team that is probably one of the best two-way rim teams in the entire country. It just kind of doesn't create a massive mismatch. It's just if Bryant's going to create their value, all of their value there, and Sparty's going to completely take that away, does Bryant have another area that they can go? They have some shot making, led by Rafael Pinzone, guys like Connor Withers and Timberlake inside. He's not really a shooter, but I think he'll have a tough time generating offense against this front line of Michigan State that has 5 guys that they can rotate onto Timberlake at all times. So they can really give him a hard time all game, but it's going to come down to the dribble, that shot creation of Pinzone. And I just don't think he's going to be able to carry a Bryant team against a really good Sparty defense to, lead to a win here. And I think Bryant, they play a little bit too fast in order to, obviously you'd want a team that plays a little bit slower, profiles better as an underdog overall, but more possessions leads to the better team and the more talented team being able to win by more of a margin and, create more of a lead. And Bryant, they're the 7th fastest team by adjusted pace per Torvik, and Michigan State loves to run in transition at any opportunity that they can get because their half-court offense doesn't grade out as well. And if they can run more often, I think it's going to give Bryant a tough time. But ultimately, I think they can hang around. I just don't see the Cinderella material here.
Yeah. If they were to be a Cinderella, I think, there are a couple things that would need to happen in this game. One, I think they're going to have to force Michigan State to shoot a bunch of threes. Michigan State, not a super efficient three-point shooting team. They're right around 30%, which is significantly down from last season. And hopefully Michigan State, for Bryant's sake, is missing a bunch of those threes. They have the ability to knock them down when they're open. Of course, like any Division I player. But the other thing with that, if they're going to be forcing a bunch of long range shots, they need to be able to limit Michigan State on the glass. Having their athleticism does help them. They're not quite as big as Michigan State, but if those two things can happen, I think they can hang around, maybe, just maybe pull off some sort of Cinderella upset, but I don't really see it here. I think that Michigan State takes care of it, although, I think them being so athletic is one of the recipes for success in these Cinderella upsets if it's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it gives them a fighting chance for their athleticism. I think their wings are more athletic than Michigan State's wings outside of Cohen Carr. Obviously, he's the most athletic player in the entire country. But if there was a 2 seed that they were to draw in this tournament, this would have been the 2 seed I would have wanted them to draw, because you can't run with Alabama. Tennessee is too physical. Their defense is probably, arguably the best defense in the country. And then St. John's is obviously right there with them. They played St. John's earlier in the year and I believe they lost 99-77. So it just kind of shows that they're willing to run at all costs, and they're not really trying to slow the game down to give them a really good chance to win. So ultimately, I don't see them winning the game, but maybe their athleticism can play up.
Yeah, for sure. So should be a pretty straightforward game. Michigan State takes down number 15 seed Bryant, but we have seen a 15 seed win the last few years, so you never know. But that wraps up the South region with a Michigan State win.